I was asked a question last night, and of course, I had a hard time coming up with a pat answer because, a lot of times, if you haven't thought about the question, it's hard to come up with a really good answer. And so the question kind of ties in with alone as well. And so, so I'm going to talk about alone. Now, alone has so many different contextual meanings. So alone could mean that you are alone, meaning you are on a desert island somewhere and you're the only person on that island. So that's alone. You can be alone because you choose to emotionally have a wall. And so no matter how many people are around you, or the potentials that may be there for a meaningful relationship, you don't get to experience them. And so you are alone. Then we have the alone where you get to be at one with yourself. And then there's the alone where you're different. And so unless you found your tribe, no matter what you do or where you go, you may feel alone. And so the only way I have ever, in my life, with all of the different alones I've experienced, to remove alone so that it's not a negative component in my life, is with love and connection. And, and the two are, almost the same in many, many different veins. I believe every single human has a need, a desire to feel connection. And with connection, all of those things, you feel seen, heard, felt, and understood. And so then that means you are not alone, both in a physical sense, an emotional and spiritual sense, and they go together. Because when you have a connection with yourself and or with another person, no matter where you go, life is the same. You're full. You're complete. Is it always 100% achievable? I'm not sure. I know I have to work at it. I know some of the best connected times in my life with myself have been when I've been in the mountains in the middle of nowhere for months at a time. Did I miss another human being? No. I was so connected to everything around me that I felt a part of everything. And I think that kind of connection is hard in the human realm because there's so much judgment. When you're in the mountains, there's no judgment. Everything there is accepting you. You're not getting any funny looks. You're not getting any sarcasm. You're not getting any silent treatments. Everything's chattering away, doing their own thing because they're all connected to themselves. And you connect and you become part of it. And then, I read in other places that in order to heal, that's an alone journey. I don't believe that for a minute. Every time I've had the greatest amount of healing in my life, I've been connected. And I don't just mean to myself, but to everything around me. And when your cellular resonance is matching that resonance of another human being, that connection is very profound. And because there's all that familiarity at a cellular level, you feel extremely safe. And that opens up another huge realm for you to stick your toe into a healing journey. Beep. And so here's another thing, I guess, to consider. So now, when a human trusts enough or gets brave enough or desires it enough to allow another human into their energetic space so that they form that connection, that deep connection. And this is where I see a lot of things fall apart. It's because that connection, can be achieved. Maintaining it is where the difficulty lies. And part of that difficulty is because when you connect on that energetic cellular level, that means there's a connection. So you don't need to be living next door to the person. You don't need to be seeing them. You don't need to be anything them. You have made a connection. Now that connection could exist only as a feeling. Maybe it was from something that you read. Maybe it was something that happened that touched you. Or maybe you actually met somebody and you felt it. So a connection on a cellular level travels great distances. Great distances. My horse doesn't want to go. Anyhow. And so the best way I can explain that, and I'll talk about it from my own kind of experience while my horse decides whether or not it's going to go. You've got to remember, this is a scary place because this is where he saw that bear that was a carcass that was half eaten up, and I, of course, didn't know what it was, so I had to go closer to see. And when he got there and could smell all that, he didn't think that was such a smart move on my part. But anyhow, here we are 6 months later, and he has not forgotten that incident. Mr. Brave Guy here. So he's got to wait for the dogs to go first so his scared little ass can go. There we go. All right. Okay, and so where I was going with this, so when there's that kind of connection and something changes that connection, meaning, something goes on with the other person. Chinko, can you come, please? Chinko, come. My little big boy, come. Come. Need some courage here. Good girl. Good girl. Come on. There we go. Yeah, you see, you can make it by. You can make it by. Yeah, you can make it by. I know. It's a pretty terrible thing. Good girl, Chink. Good girl. Hi, this is Joyce Joyne, and now I'm trying to remember where I was. Yeah, so anyhow, so something changes in the other person, and they put up a wall, or something happens and they get hurt, or hurt feeling or something, and so whatever constriction occurs inside their body totally changes the electrical resonance that your cells are resonating with. So the other person will immediately feel all of that distress, all of that turmoil, except they won't have no context for it. They'll feel it, but there will be no context. And so then you immediately want to reach out to fix it, because you don't want to feel that in your body. And if and I don't mean fix it. Beep beep, beep beep, beep beep. Whoa. No. All right, so then I have to